Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my death battle prediction videos. So today we're going to be predicting the death battle that was revealed at the end of Mob vs. Tatsumaki, which is Deadpool versus Mask, or The Mask. Some of you guys who watch my channel regularly will know that I wasn't planning on doing a prediction for this episode, mainly just because I don't know that much about Mask. I haven't seen the movie, and I'm not too familiar when it comes to his comic presence or anything like that, because he's from Dark Horse. But even so, I looked at a lot of information about him, and I think I have enough information to, make a reasonable prediction for this fight, so let's just predict it, why not? So in terms of their abilities, I'm not going to try to spend too much time on what they're capable of, mainly because it's either pretty straightforward, or you guys probably already know it already, but in terms of their capabilities, let's just go over it quickly. So in terms of Deadpool, most of you guys know what Deadpool's all about. He's an amazing fighter, a great assassin, he carries a ton of weapons with him, including various types of guns and swords, like his twin katanas and his machine guns. And he has this technique, called the magic satchel, which is an animation technique where you can basically just pull anything out of nowhere. You see that a lot in cartoons, like with Bugs Bunny and stuff like that. So he has that ability, and it basically can allow him to pull out, I guess, whatever the heck he wants. So that's something to him. He basically very versatile, a lot of weaponry. He also technically has superhuman strength, speed, and stamina, though I don't think it's to the same level as Spider-Man. Definitely not to the same level as Spider-Man. I think he's more comparable to someone like Captain America, and even then I'm not even sure where on the list he would fall, because he's not really known for his strength, speed, or stamina or anything like that. He has the mutant gene after he was injected with Wolverine's healing factor, supposedly. Although his healing factor is significantly better than Wolverine's in the sense that decapitation won't kill him, and in order to really put him down for good, like Carnage, you kind of need to disintegrate him completely. If you're not going to somehow take away his healing factor, you basically need to get rid of every single cell in his body, which is not easy to do. He even once had an immortality curse, but that got taken away. So he is killable. He's not unkillable, but it's really, really, really freaking hard to do it. And one of his biggest weaknesses is that he doesn't really take his fights too seriously. Like, he thinks he's invincible, so he doesn't really think too much while he's fighting. He's not the smartest fighter out there. He gets distracted easily. He breaks the fourth wall a ton, which in some fights actually gives him the advantage. It's just weird. He's like a complete joke of a character. He's a ripoff of Deathstroke, or a parody of Deathstroke, but he's just completely wacky. Sometimes the writers just let him do whatever the heck he wants, whether it be by breaking the fourth wall or by pulling out whatever the heck he wants out of thin air, stuff like that. I really don't need to go over Deadpool anymore. You guys already know a lot about him, I'm sure, so I won't get into too much of the specifics. And now let's talk a little bit more about Mask. So in terms of his similarities to Deadpool, he does also carry around a number of weapons and objects. I don't know if it's because of the magic satchel technique, or if it's just that he somehow carries it with him all the time. He carries around a number of different guns, I believe, and just a bunch of random objects and weapons. Again, I don't know if it's because of the magic satchel, or it's just that these are things that he always has with him. I'm not really sure, but regardless, he's also very versatile, while also being a bit random in what he carries. He's also a very wacky character. Kind of insane, and he, breaks the fourth wall a ton. Again, just completely wacky, completely, very much an out-there kind of character, if you guys know what I mean. So there's that going for him. He's also pretty tough, he has a healing factor, but apparently he's also somehow immortal and invulnerable, so I don't know how, his healing factor even shows, but those are his main similarities to Deadpool, and his healing factor is pretty damn impressive. It's probably not to the same level as Deadpool, or it might be. Again, I don't think we've really seen too much of it, but he does have a healing factor nonetheless. But those are really where the similarities to Deadpool end, because he also has a bunch of other abilities. He has his cartoon physics, again, breaking the fourth wall, that's similar to Deadpool, but he has a ton of other abilities, such as, if I can remember them correctly, there's reality warping, there's matter and energy manipulation, there's energy projection. He's got a bunch of mental abilities like astral projection and telekinesis and telepathy and stuff like that. He's also has some weird powers which may come from his reality warping, or it may just be powers that he has all the time, like elasticity and I think duplication even, and summoning stuff. Tornado creation I think he's done before too, so that's pretty impressive. And there are some other abilities abilities, which I'm now starting to forget. But like I said, he also has stuff like immortality and invulnerability. And I think also shapeshifting, I think he can do that as well. Basically just a bunch of crazy abilities that the mask gives the wearer. I'm not sure if they're going to be using Stanley Ipkiss for this, who I believe was the person that was in the movie. He might be the most popular version of the mask. But I don't really think it matters too much which version of the mask they use. There's, like, been a ton of them. And I'm not sure if it's really that, like, the mask kind of, like, possesses the person who wears it, like, in a Dr. Fate kind of way, or if it's that, the mask just alters the person's personality and abilities. I think it's the first one, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But either way, I don't really think it depends too much on who they use for the mask in terms of this fight. His biggest weakness, though, is that while he might be invulnerable, if the mask gets taken off of him, then he loses all his powers. Like, the person wearing the mask just reverts back to normal, so that's definitely not good. So, yeah, that's basically what the mask is all about. He's just a crazy character that can do a bunch of different stuff, just ridiculously overpowered, that kind of stuff. And I think, his powers are more expanded on the comics than they are in the movie starring Jim Carrey. But I think that's mainly where people know him from, unless, they're, like, big comic fans. So, yeah, I think he's pretty consistent between the comics and the movie, but again, the comics, they probably expand on it a lot more. So, unless I remember everything else, that's basically all I know about these characters, or at least all I know about the mask. I could keep talking about Deadpool. But in terms of this actual fight, I'm getting major Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie vibes here. If you guys remember, I didn't really like that fight, and I was kind of being over-dramatic about it, because it actually ended up being pretty fun. And I could see this fight being a joke fight, but what I couldn't see is that it's so much of a joke fight that they actually give the win to the character who doesn't deserve it. And I'm not saying that my prediction is, like, 100% correct or anything, to say that, like, who I say wins is definitely going to win if there's a winner. But what I'm saying is that, if, I don't know, like, for an example, just a ridiculous example, like, if they did a joke fight between Superman and Harry Osborn or something, like, even without the goblin stuff, like, I can't see it being a joke fight to the point where they give the undeserving winner the win, like they would give Harry Osborn the win, I can't see it going that route. So if they do actually declare a winner, I think that it's going to be the winner that they would have naturally come to the conclusion to. But they might not call a winner, and that's really weird, because I don't like making my prediction say that, oh yeah, it's gonna be a tie, or it's gonna be something weird like when Metal Sonic won, because then if I'm wrong there, I don't really know how to quantify that in terms of my, like, correct, incorrect record, which I do keep track of. If there is a winner, which I'm going to pick, if the winner wins, the person that I predicted, then I'm going to get a correct on my record. If they don't win, then I'm going to get an incorrect, and if there's no winner, or, like, it's a weird thing, then I'm just going to not really quantify it at all. It's going to be more like a no mark or something like that. So, in terms of who I think would win this fight, I think that the mask would win. I just think that he's got way more going for him, and I think it's probably way easier for him to kill Deadpool than it would be for Deadpool to kill Mask. I know I said before that, you basically have to get rid of every cell in his body in order to kill Deadpool, but I do think that Mask has ways to either work around that or to fit that bill. But first, let's talk about why I don't think Deadpool is going to be able to kill Mask. Just because Deadpool's healing factor might be better than Mask's, and that's a big if, I'm not even sure about that, that doesn't necessarily mean that Deadpool has the means to put down Mask anyway, and I don't really think he has the means to do it. There are really only two ways I could see Deadpool coming out in this fight, just because of the Mask's crazy power and durability. The first way, and I don't even think this would really work, and I'll get into that in a sec, but the first way is him using the carbonadium sword. And even then, I was a little surprised that they gave it to him in Deadpool vs. Deathstroke, because I believe that's from Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, which is a completely separate universe. Even though I think it's supposed to be more or less like a copy universe, just like a what-if with the exact same scenario, or the exact same conditions as the regular 616 universe, so that might be why they gave it to him. Regardless, though, I don't know if they're going to give it to him this time. If they do give it to him, though, I'm not even sure if that would work. And the main reason is because I don't know if his healing, the Mask's healing, is, like, really a healing factor, or if it's just him warping reality so he heals. And if that's the case, that's not really a healing factor. That's just him healing himself through another ability. So even then, I'm not even sure that being able to use the carbonadium sword would even nullify anything about his healing. I don't know. But I don't think that his healing factor is like a traditional healing factor. I think it's just more something that he does to heal himself. And even then, again, I'm not even sure how much of the healing factor we've seen. That's assuming that Deadpool can get past the invulnerability and the immortality that the mask possesses. So, again, I just don't see him being able to do that, at least not easily. And the other way that I could see Deadpool somehow getting past his invulnerability is if he takes the mask for himself. And if he does that, and I think that means that the mask is gonna, I think that automatically means the mask attaches itself to Deadpool, and then he could kill Stanley Ipkiss no problem, or whoever is wearing the mask, or whoever was wearing the mask. But I don't know if they would call that a Deadpool win, or if they would call that a tie. Kind of like a Metal Sonic thing, where it's like, there's elements of both of them in there, because with the Metal Sonic thing, it was Eggman's robot, but it was Wily's Roboenza. I know that was an old fight, and there's some questionable things about that, but just as an example. And then in this one, it could be, because Stanley Ipkiss died, and Deadpool didn't die, but it's the mask who he was fighting before who killed Stanley, So I don't know if they would call that a Deadpool win or if they would call that a tie. That's really the only way I could see Deadpool winning this fight, and maybe I'm wrong, but I can't really see Deadpool winning in any other way. And I think it'd be way easier for the mask to kill Deadpool. Even if Deadpool could, find an opening to get the mask off of Mask, I don't think that would happen most of the time. I don't think he would really have too many good opportunities in order to do that. And I think that, it'd be way easier for the Mask to win. Because even though, you have to, drop a planet on Deadpool, usually, or, incinerate him completely in an explosion, in order to be able to actually put him down for good, I think that Mask has ways to work around it, especially when you consider his reality warping and his matter manipulation. I don't know how far these abilities extend to, but when it comes to the Mask, it seems like he's one of those characters where it's basically just, the writers can let him do whatever he wants, because he's just supposed to be that kind of, not necessarily god-tier character, but just that wacky character where there are really no rules. So I'd want to assume that he has the capabilities to just, kill Deadpool, whether it be reality warping, erasing him from existence, or he could use his matter manipulation to remove the mutant gene from his cells. I want to assume he could do that. Again, these are mostly assumptions in terms of the Mask's powers. But I think there's a better case to be made for the Mask being able to kill Deadpool than Deadpool being able to kill Mask. Unless, he takes the Mask from him. But again, I think that with Mask's superb power and durability and versatility, I think it'd be way easier and way more convenient for the Mask to kill Deadpool with one of his just super abilities than for Deadpool to be able to take the Mask from him. And again, they're looking for who would win most of the time, assuming this isn't a joke fight in any sense. And, I just think that the Mask would have a way easier time killing Deadpool than Deadpool would have taken the Mask, or killing the Mask, for that matter. Again, maybe they'll call it a joke fight by Deadpool taking the Mask or whatever, and then they both win, and if that's the case, then sure, fine. If Deadpool somehow wins in one of those, if he takes the Mask and they consider that winning, then fine, I can see where they're coming from. Or if he somehow wins in another way, then that's great. I just want them to, explain why, in an objective way. I don't want them to give him the win if he doesn't actually deserve it. The way I think really this is going to go down is that, again, one of the things that worries me about this, though, is that the way they advertise it is, let's kill Deadpool. And that makes me want to think that Deadpool's still not going to die because that's where the humor comes from. So what I'm thinking is that maybe what will happen, and this isn't really part of my prediction, this is just a hypothesis. I'm thinking what might happen is that they'll talk about Deadpool and the Mask, and they'll have this bias against Deadpool the whole time, and Deadpool will be showing up in the analyses or whatever, and then the Mask will kill Deadpool, and they'll be happy about it, and they'll happily explain it. But then at the end of the post-analysis, Deadpool will still pop up, in the analysis, because it's, a simulation type thing, or, it'll just be, a funny thing, you can't get rid of Deadpool that easily, something along the lines of that. If that makes any sense, I just can't see them giving the win to Deadpool. I just can't see them doing that. I just think the Mask is too powerful. If they do that, then I want them to actually explain why, and have a good reason for it. I don't want it to be such a joke fight that they actually give the wrong winner the win, or the wrong character the win. Again, if they can actually explain why Deadpool will win, then that's great, but I don't want them to do it, just for the sake of being funny, and that, oh yeah, Deadpool would obviously lose, so let's just give him the win. But I want to hear what you guys think about this. Do you have any other way you think that Deadpool could kill the mask? Am I missing something big here, and, it's obvious Deadpool would win or something? Because I want to know let me know down in the comments below, because I'd really like to know that. And if you think that the mask would win, let me know why down in the comments below, or what do you think is going to happen in this battle? And if you enjoyed this video, then please give this video a huge like. I always appreciate the likes, and if you could subscribe to my channel, guys, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. But ultimately, your view is plenty of contribution. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And that's it for me. I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.